Michael Brantley never finished the regular season last year, was out. He comes back on a 1-year deal, and he was asked where he's at right now with his recovery from shoulder surgery.
Everything's right on schedule. Everything's going well. Like I said, I've been here for over a week now, so just putting in the reps, obviously getting back in the baseball shape, but at the same time, right where I need to be.
Here's more from Brantley. So he says he's right on schedule. This is Brantley being asked about getting some work over at first base.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes, but at the same time, team first approach always. I've always been like that, so if I can help the team out in any way, I'll be available. But it's a lot of hard work. I'm learning a lot very quickly, but it's all been going smoothly so far.
Do we like the idea of Michael Brantley potentially being a first baseman at times this year?
It's intriguing.
No, it's not intriguing. This is a guy that gets hurt. It's a guy that needs days off because his body betrays him. You can't play him at first.
Well, you're less likely to get hurt playing first than you are playing left. I will say that. And I just wonder, because of Yordan's injury status, I said yesterday I don't want Yordan playing the field at all moving forward.
Shouldn't they just bring back Yuli if we're down to having to use Michael Brantley at first base?
No. I got this figured out for us.
The roster's full, so they're not going to bring back Yuli.
Yeah, they're at the 40-man limit for their 40-man roster.
So release someone. Screw him.
For a backup first baseman?
Michael Brantley's playing first base?
Look, this is the thing. This is why Brantley playing first base means nothing to me. Jose Abreu's damn near an Iron Man. I mean, he rarely ever misses games.
Oh, he hadn't played under Dusty Baker yet. He's going to miss some games this year now.
Sure.
You know how this works.
But you look at Abreu's seasons in the big leagues, the least amount of games he's ever played was 128 games. He finished off 152 and 157 the past 2 seasons. He played every game in the COVID-shortened year, where he won the MVP, by the way. And you've got guys in the organization and potentially on the roster that have experience at first base. So if you tell me that you need 12 days of first base filled in, you've got guys that can do that. David Hensley played first base last year for the Space Cowboys for a portion of the time when he was there, so he's got experience at first base. He's thought to be sort of the super sub guy that you have on your roster. And Yanir Diaz played at first base in the minor leagues. So if Diaz is on the roster as the backup catcher, he's also your backup first baseman as well. I don't love Yanir Diaz as a long-term first base option or a guy that you'd play every day at first base, but you've got backup first base options for guys that should be on the roster or should make the roster.
That's why it's intriguing. I wouldn't think Michael Brantley is this team's backup first baseman. I would think it's David Hensley. Like, he did enough down the stretch last year and in the playoffs where I feel like he's going to be on the opening day roster. And I feel like the first time Jose Abreu needs a day off from first base, it's going to be David Hensley out there. So why are we even doing this with Michael Brantley? When I said it was intriguing, I'm not like, this guy's going to play 30 or 40 games at first base this year, so get ready for that. No.
Kind of sounds like that's what you said.
No, I don't think it is what I said. And honestly, the point I was making about Yordan is you're going to need Brantley out in left field more because I don't want Yordan playing out there in left field. So, like,
what if nobody plays any position at all?
Positionless baseball?
Yeah.
Is it beer league softball
the
here?
Astros just choose they're just going to hit instead. It's like we'll give up a couple X amount of runs every game in exchange for just letting guys not have to play a position.
You know, with the shift going away, it's going to be tough to do something like that.
Yep.
Maybe you could go full positionless if you could still shift, but now I feel like you have to have assigned positions for all of these dudes. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, to me, Michael Brantley is this team's left fielder. Like, that's what I expect from him. And I know he's not I don't even know if he's a good defensive outfielder. Well, you don't have to be great to play at the juice box. Like, it's one of the easier left fields in all of baseball to play. So we know Michael Brantley can do it out there. He's sufficient out there. And to me, it makes sense that he's going to get a lot of run, and it's going to be like a 50-50 split or some sort of split between he and Yordan. The first base thing, no pun intended, comes out of left field. Like, it just doesn't make sense because the Astros, like you said, Cody, it feels like they have more options at first base than they do at left field right now, especially with the uncertainty to Yordan's hands.
It's been 15 years since Michael Brantley played in a professional baseball game at first base. That was 2008.
Is he in the bigs?
At Double-A.
Yeah, exactly.
He's never played first base in the majors. This is just getting a guy a little bit of work, giving him some exercise. You know, he was there before they started outfield drills. Hey, grab this mitt. Let's see what you got at first base. Stretch out a little bit. You know, catch a few over there from Pena at shortstop. Brantley, this is not an option. If Brantley plays first base this year for the Astros, something's gone horribly, terribly wrong.
Here's more Astros news coming out of spring training. So Dusty Baker said that center field is not Chas McCormick's job. He's got to go out there and win the job. This was McCormick on Dusty saying he's got to go win the job in spring.
He's right. He's right. I mean, I got to earn my spot. You know, I haven't proved myself as a starter yet. You know, I've been platooning my first 2 years, and he's right. You know, there's a lot of competition, and there's a lot of good outfielders in this organization. So, you know, he's going to do what he wants to do, and I need to be consistent. You know, I think over the time I've been a little inconsistent, and you know that's a goal of mine this year is to be more consistent. And you know, there's a lot of good outfielders in this organization, and I need to be ready to play.
If Chas McCormick is not the opening day center fielder for the Astros, Cody Stutes will shave his head live on the air.
That's not going to happen. This is a ridiculous conversation because I believe Chas was consistent enough in the second half to be the everyday center fielder, and certainly what he brought to the table in the playoffs, I believe he's done enough to be the everyday center fielder. But what Dusty's out here he's the only guy that's going to compete for his spot. Everybody else is good.
Dusty doesn't like Chas McCormick.
I don't know why. Why does he not like Chas McCormick?
You think about the Miles Straw trade, how mad Dusty Baker got about that. You think about Jake Myers getting more run than Chas McCormick at times over the past couple of years. Mauricio Dubon, the doctor, getting a lot of run in center field, at times over Chas McCormick. I don't know what it is about Chas. Seems like a good dude. Fans love him, especially after what he did in the playoffs last year. Just feels like Dusty and him don't see eye to eye. Now, I love that answer from Chas McCormick. It's a great attitude. I'm sure if you gave him truth serum, he wouldn't say what he said. He'd say what you said, Cody. Like, how the hell have I not earned this job right now? Like, what has Jake Myers done? What has Mauricio Dubon done that I haven't done? Why is this even a conversation? But I like the mindset that he has, and maybe this is Dusty being a manager, doing this for motivation. Like, hey, man, just because you had a good playoff run doesn't mean you can take your foot off the gas and coast around here. Like, maybe that's part of this from Dusty Baker. I don't think it's necessary, but Dusty Baker's won a lot of games as a manager in this league. Maybe this is a motivational tactic for him. But to your point, Jake, I mean, barring like an 0 for 30 from Chas McCormick during spring training this year, he's going to be the opening day in the regular center fielder. Obviously, he'll get days off because days off Dusty does that, but Chas McCormick is the dude out there.
If you told me there was for sure a guy that's splitting with him and Chas is only hitting against lefties and the other guy's only hitting against righties, I think I'd listen to you and have the conversation. Chas destroys left-handed pitching. He was fantastic last year against left-handed pitching. Hit 340 with a 409 on base percentage against lefties last year. And yeah, you face more righties than lefties, but I feel like he's done enough to be a guy that, you know, maybe this is one of those fake competitions. Like, yep, Chas won it. Good job, Chas. But Jake Myers, after what he showed last year, no thank you. Bly Madris, which is a guy they added from the Pirates, and that ain't going to do it for me. The Dr. Mauricio Dubon, no thank you.